up by 10. Their guy covers all things Eagles up there in Philadelphia for CSN Philly, and you can follow his journey out on Twitter at DZangaroCSN. We welcome Dave Zangaro on to talk all things Eagles on an afternoon where, they damn near came down here and stole this one, Dave.
Yeah, and no one would have been more surprised than me about that outcome if it happened. The Eagles playing good football in the last couple months. And but they had a pretty good game plan today, and then they almost pulled off a pretty big upset. They had some help too, and they had help from what Coach John Harbaugh called he called it the worst play call ever.
Yes, correct. Yes, all-time worst call ever. All-time worst call ever. So there's an ever and an all-time in there, and they don't cancel each other out. It was a pretty awful call.
It was a bad call. It was a pretty bad throw too, but you give credit to linebacker Jordan Hicks there. He makes a play, and that really gave the Eagles a chance to win this game. It was an impressive drive for the Eagles because that's something they haven't really done all year. They've been in those situations before where they have a chance to either tie a game late or win it late, but they haven't been able to do it. On Sunday, they were able to give themselves a real chance, and then, the gutsy play call and the two-point conversion doesn't work out, but I bet Baltimore fans were sweating a little bit about that one.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more sweating to be done, and I think one of the things we'll sweat, not just the fact we're playing the Steelers and next week's a whole different week, it's that Wentz led a couple of drives, right? Like, it was, okay, so the mistake happens, you bring your defense out, you get off the field, you win the game. Not you let them go the length of the field, they wind up kicking a field goal, then you go 3 and out and give the ball back. I mean, it wasn't just about Flacco or one play, it was also about Wentz with an 11 and a 10-play drive at the end to give them an opportunity to win on that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the one thing that really stuck out in that one was how well the Eagles ran the ball. Traditionally, this year they haven't run the ball that much. They really have been pass happy. So I was kind of surprised to see the Ravens, who come in with they came in with the best in the league, kind of let the Eagles run all over them. You would think that they'd want to force Carson Wentz to try to beat them, and that's not what happened. I mean, Ryan Matthews had his best game of the year. He had 128 yards on the ground. That was really what surprised me about this game. I thought for sure Baltimore would just choose to take away the run and then force a rookie to try to beat them, and that's not what happened.
Well, and certainly the time of possession got all out of whack, especially in the third quarter. And we look down and see that the Ravens didn't run a whole lot of plays, and when they did, they were once again relatively pass happy. It is amazing how they don't want to run the football, right?
Who, the Ravens?
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to remember, this Eagles defense gives up more long pass plays than any other team in the league, and we saw a couple of those on Sunday. So, against the team, sometimes you just have to go and attack their weakest point. And for the Eagles, that's clearly their cornerbacks and their secondary. They give up some big plays, and we saw it with the Steve Smith touchdown at the end of the first half, and then there was that 54-yarder on a little slant play, I believe it was, in the second half. The Eagles are susceptible to big plays, and the Ravens got a few of them.
He is Dave Zangaro. He covers all things Eagles at CSN Philadelphia. You can follow his journey out on Twitter at DZangaroCSN. That's ZANGARO. Did you cover the Texans for a little while, too, or am I nuts?
No, I did, yeah. For about 2 years I was down there.
Yeah, man. So, you come back to Philadelphia, and this organization, at the bottom of the division now, my buddy Schwartz is up there running around with the defense. There's a rookie quarterback. I don't think there are moral victories here. I think that they need better football players in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, they need better football players. And a lot of guys in the locker room after the game were telling me that, there's no more victories. We have to win football games. But I think they're feeling pretty good about themselves because they gave themselves a chance to win that game. And everything for the Eagles in this season and here on out is about Carson Wentz. It's about developing him. If he ends up being that franchise-type quarterback that they haven't had since Donovan McNabb, this season won't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things. they have to get more talent around him, and they have to really kind of make developing him and focusing everything on him as their primary goal.
Dave, are you buying what he's selling, Carson Wentz?
Yeah, no, I think he's really impressed me in the last couple weeks. There was a while where the regression was a little troubling, just because I guess he started the season off so well. He kind of put himself in that bind. He set the bar so high that I guess regression was just naturally going to happen, or at least appear to be that way. But he's a talented young kid. He has, everything you'd want in that prototypical franchise quarterback. He's still making rookie mistakes. You saw a few of them on Sunday. There was the play where he should have thrown the ball away, and he tries to do some weird little spin move and almost coughs up the football, and then the interception early was bad. But you kind of live with those mistakes with the rookie, and you just hope that he's able to kind of work through them and become what they ultimately think he's going to be, which is, a franchise top-tier quarterback.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get out to the Combine, and they're going to have probably a top 10 pick at this point, right? And you'll be talking about their needs. There's a lot of needs there, right? I mean, they're still figuring the receiver thing out, and they better get that together. They got to figure out how to keep Wentz upright. Feels like they have some semblance of a running game. But, boy, the back end of that secondary, if they don't get some help there, especially looking at what Dallas is going to want to do and what the Giants always want to do to go up top, that's a tough division there to not have cornerbacks.
Yeah, corner is a huge need. Receiver is a huge need. They need some more edge rushing. They need a lot of positions. So when they're on the board in that first round, and it's actually they don't have a first round pick, but they have Minnesota's first round pick from the Sam Bradford trade,
and that's dropping like a rock. That's trying to get into the top 10. They lost again on Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's looking a lot better than it did earlier in the year. But there's so many positions of need that. I don't think they're going to have to reach for one position or the other. I think they pretty much take best player available, and it's going to fill a need for them because there's a lot of them right now.
Dave Zangaro joining us here from CSN Philly. All right, Dave, so you saw the Ravens play, and you watched the 10-point lead that almost became a 17-point lead. If they maybe had grounded out a little bit, used a little bit of the clock, they didn't do any of that. They let him back into the game. Now they have to go to Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. They have to go to Cincinnati on New Year's Day. Are you buying what the purple guys are selling? Keep in mind, they have not won on the road since Jacksonville in Week 3.
Yeah, that's tough. It's funny. I've actually seen all those teams this year just because of the way the division matchups go, and I think they're winnable games. Pittsburgh is not as dominant as I think teams probably thought they were going to be.
Yeah, you saw them on a day where every Ravens fan was an Eagles fan, and that doesn't happen often, Dave.
Yeah, that's true. And then, you talk about the Bengals. I mean, they're an okay team, but I don't think they're the kind of team that strikes fear into anyone. The Ravens just have to get back to doing what they do well, and that starts with defense and stopping the run. If they can do that, I think the next two games for them they're pretty winnable. I can see them winning both of those games, but I could also see them losing both of those games. And I got to tell you, though, the one thing I love watching the Ravens, Justin Tucker is an absolute stud. I mean, there's not many kickers in this league who are actual weapons, and he's one of them. Whenever the Ravens get the ball, they have to go 10 yards, and they're in field goal range. It's unbelievable.
Well, even on the windiest of days, I mean, my wife and I sat in the upper deck, and the first 8 minutes of the game, it felt like springtime, and literally right after he kicked the field goal, within 90 seconds, the wind whipped up. I sit on the east end zone. I look west. I saw the black cloud rolling in. He got the kickoff, and I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to be able to kick the ball the rest of the day when that storm front came through, and you saw the goalposts moving around and all that stuff. Having a kicker on a day like that, on wet conditions, on bad days, we're going to see some bad days before it's good. We're going to Pittsburgh and Cincinnati the next 2 weeks. I would agree with you. It's a weird kind of weapon to have, and the Ravens have sort of lucked into this thing the last couple of years. We're going to miss him when he's gone. There's not going to be a whole lot of guys that can do what he's done this season.
Yeah, he's a special kind of guy, and the kickers are so weird. You never know what's going to happen. They can have a year like that, and then the next year, Blair Walsh is a great example. A guy used to be just about at this level, and then the next year it's just gone. So enjoy it while you have it.
Philly appreciate Flacco up there, Dave.
Yeah, I think so. He's kind of a native son, and from Audubon, New Jersey. People really like him around here.
As they should. We like him around here, too, but not when he throws interceptions on the goal line.
Yeah.
Dave, great having you on, man. I appreciate you taking a little time out of the day and doing it, and good catching up with you on Sunday at the ballpark.
Absolutely.
You got it. Dave Zangaro from Comcast Sportsnet joining us here from Philadelphia. You can follow him at DZangaro, CSN, out on the Twitter thing. You can find us at WNST out on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, and streaming live on our Facebook Live as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. We got full coverage all week long. Luke will be on the backfields as the Ravens prepare to go ho, ho, ho into Pittsburgh this week and Cincinnati next week. We will be on the scene all week long. We got the Terps playing in Baltimore, and we're doing a couple of live shows at Adams Jeep in Aberdeen the next 2 weeks. Mike Wallace will be with us next Tuesday night, the 27th, after Christmas, hopefully after a Raven victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers this week as well, and monitoring some cap stuff and the Terps in Baltimore on Tuesday night as well. Anything you miss, you can find in the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. And the morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning. Don't forget, the tech service is there for you. Use it. Get on it. It's our best service. Comes to you anytime there's breaking news, whether the Orioles sign a player. Obviously, the Ravens injury report will be a big deal again this week, and I don't think anybody's got high hopes on the Jimmy Smith situation, but nonetheless, you'll get it first on the WNST Tech Service. It's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard, and Dennis Colossus will be here on Thursday, driving you home, getting you ready for the mistletoe. That happens on Thursday from 3 until 5. It is the SSV on WNST. I'm Nestor. This is WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.